Some of y'all may feel like every time you push that button, it's like the market goes against you. I've been feeling like that for like the past 4 weeks now. Hey, you guys, what is going on? It's your girl Shaquan Chanel here from SLFX Trading. And in today's video, we're going to go over my 15-minute trading day, but I want to have a really quick conversation with you guys. So some of you guys have been trading for a few months. Some of you guys are brand new to trading and you're trying to dig into where's the best place to start. You're probably putting in some trades in demo, or you're putting in some trades in some live accounts. Some of you have been trading for a year or two, right? Some of you guys may be going well. Some of you guys may be at the break-even stage. And some of you guys may be losing, right? Or maybe you just had a string of winners and now you're losing. Well, that's fine, you guys. This is all a part of trading, and I'm going to talk to y'all about why am I talking about this really quick. So I had to have a conversation with my husband last night. So I've been married for 10 years. We have 2 beautiful children out of our 10 years of marriage. And me and my husband are very, very close. We're pretty darn close. And I looked at him last night and I said, you know what, man? He has my call him dog. So like, because sometimes I just go up to him and say, so dog. He'll say, I'm not your dog. I'm like, all right, I got you. Because he's not my dog, right? But I said, you know what, babe? Said, I'm in drawdown, man. And it doesn't feel good. I said, I was doing good. I was like hot girl summer. I was hot girl summer. Now I feel like I'm autumn fall. And he just looked at me. I said, I really do feel like that. But he looked at me and he said, it's okay. Some of y'all may feel like every time you push that button, it's like the market goes against you. I've been feeling like that for like the past 4 weeks now. It's like, yo, what the heck? Like I can win like two, but then I lose like three behind it. And mind y'all, I'm not putting in trades every single day, because I'm swing trading and I'm holding my position. Yes, it does take time for me to get stopped out of a trade. I could get stopped out of a trade. Like I'll give you guys a really good example that you guys are going to see today, like pound AUD, right? Been in that trade for a few weeks. I'm finally getting stopped out, but AUD USD was a good winner. So that was the spin off. Like I lost the pound AUD. I won I'm still in the AUD USD, but it's like, should I just go and snatch those profits, just to put that money back into my trading account? But I feel like that's been my experience. I'm teeter-tottering on break even and draw down, and I've been there for 4 weeks. But like I said, I was hot girl summer. Your girl was winning. The fact that I could go to my husband and tell him and let him know, what it did was it helped boost my confidence, because my husband trusts me to trade. He trusts us with part of our finances, and he doesn't make me feel bad. He does not discourage me. He really motivates me to look at what's going on, maybe take a break, maybe just wind down for 24 hours, go clear my mind, and then hop back on the charts. Some of you guys have that in your life. You have a support system. Some of you guys don't have that in your life. You don't have a support system. But if you do, let me know in the comments below, who's your support system? If you don't, let me know in the comments below. Do you need a support system? Because if you do, I'll be your support system. Okay? Because I really do feel like, because I'm here on YouTube, I share my analysis. I think people think when you share your analysis, you know everything. You're gonna always be right. No, that's like the scariest thing in the world, because not only do you have to hold yourself accountable, there are other people who are holding you accountable too. And that's a great deal in your hands. But I love being transparent to tell people, yes, I am a good trader. Like I can't deny that. I'm a great teacher. I cannot deny that. But I go through drawdowns like everybody else. And sometimes it takes time to climb out of those things. But this is why I also advise people not to look at your P&L day by day or week by week, but look at it month by month and year by year. If you don't know what P&L means, it's just basically your profits versus your losses, okay? So, this is why I tell people, you have to collect data. So that part. But anyway, you guys, so I just wanted to give that tidbit right now before we hop into the analysis portion or on my 15-minute trading day, because I did kind of scour what was going on in the market. I don't really have much this today or this week. I think it's gonna be low-key chill. I think this week what I'm gonna do with my coaching group and then on Instagram, and I just joined this other group. It's on Facebook. It's like a free group. I just wanted to provide some free value to people. I think what I'm gonna do is just host like a recap and review party and show people how I review my losers. Now that may sound backwards to a lot of people. Like, why won't you just show people your winners? Because like I said earlier, some of you guys are winning. When you win, you see clearly. But when you lose, you need to draw in on those losers, and you need to ring in on that energy, and you need to make that energy positive, which means you need to figure out why you lost, what was going on in the market, and how you can improve and get better so you turn those losers into winners. This is how we improve as traders. You don't sit and focus on every single winner, because if you focus on every single winner, you'll realize I was taking every single setup the way I was supposed to. What you're going to do when you focus on those losers are, you're going to ask yourself, did I have the same energy on this specific trade that I lost that I had on that winner? Did I force the trade? Was it my fault? Was it my system? Was I trading the right market condition? Or sometimes it can just be the market where you follow all of your rules and then it just happened to stop you out. Which I pretty know why a few of my trades recently I've gotten stopped out. I already know why. It leads down to one thing, and we're going to go over there, hop on my charts. I'm going to show you guys a little bit behind my scenes of my 15-minute trading day like I've been doing the past few Tuesdays. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, so I want to give you guys a backstory about the pound AUD. So I'm going to bridge the Aussie dollar and with my analysis of the pound AUD. But before I do that, I need to give you guys like a story leading up to why pound AUD is pushing up now. So if you guys do not know, pound AUD and AUD USD correlate negatively, which means if AUD USD drops, pound AUD pushes up. That is called a negative correlation. And correlations work by percentages, okay? So the higher up in percentages that price moves means that they correlate positively with each other. The negatively lower that price correlates means that they move oppositely. So they move together close to positive 100, they correlate together. They move negatively, negative 100 or closely to it. They really do move opposite of one another, almost candle by candle, sometimes not. But they're not candle by candle, but the movement of the trend is. So let me give y'all that backstory now. So this is Aussie dollar CAD. I talked about this pair in last week's or the week before 15-minute trading day. And as you guys can see, the analysis has gone through beautifully. Now, I was hoping that we could see a pullback or a retracement back up here into my zone, but we did not. Now, before you guys ask, I only trade supply and demand and trend. I don't trade any other types of structures such as support and resistance or key levels. I only trade one type of trend line for trend continuation or reversals. That's it. So that's really all I have on my price charts. And my moving averages normally are on my price chart. So let me put those. So they're normally on there. Okay. But that's all I trade. That's it. So I only use my moving averages when price is trending. That's all. So right now price is dropping, and I wish I would have held on to this, but it happens. But what I am in is Aussie dollar Swiss, and I did talk about this pair, and I am still holding this pair. I am still in this trade. I'm planning on holding this for a very long time. So this is playing out really well. So as you guys can see, that's two Aussie dollar pairs that has fallen, right? When I go to Aussie dollar, US dollar, I am still holding on to this trade as well too. And this is the analysis that I was teaching in my coaching group. So, you know, I'm still thinking that price could push down just a tad bit more, back down into 0.69774. I got into this trade on my 2-day chart. Here is where I got into the trade. And so right now on this particular pair, I am up now 116 pips after 4 trading days. Now, that's great that I'm in that. But what's not so great is the fact that I lost pound AUD. Now, I am more in profit on AUD USD than what I lost on pound AUD. That is a part of your managing your risk, okay? Part of managing your risk is saying, hey, I need to keep my losers lower and my winners higher, right? Now, these two currency pairs, their range and pip value is different. Here's what I mean. AUD USD is a slower pace moving pair, and I like to correlate these by 100 pips, okay? So I always think about how long does it take for each pair to reach 100 pips? Because if you think about it, it takes what, 100 pennies to get to the next dollar, right? Well, it takes 100 pips in our case to get to the next cents. So I'm always asking myself, how long would that take? So if I look at AUD USD, typically it could take a week to a week and a half for price to move 100 pips sometimes without the momentum. Pound AUD can do it in a day. So that's why I say that their range and their pip values are different, okay? So that's why I'm saying, okay, well, should I just go ahead and bank my profits here, you know, and then let that be? We'll see. I'm not saying I won't. I'm not saying I will. We still have 5 more minutes left in this candle. So I'm in this trade here. Now let's go to pound AUD really quick. So this was the trade analysis, and I got into the trade back here, and I thought it was going to drop after this area here. I followed all of my rules. So let's talk about why I sold. And it's still, my analysis still on here. I'm going to go to the weekly time frame so you guys can see exactly what I saw. And I'm going to tell you guys how I'm about to maneuver and change my bias quickly, okay? Number one, weekly lower high, weekly lower low. I told you guys earlier that I am a trend trader. Okay, which means I follow the trend. I was hoping that price could stay below 1.84 and then we just end up dropping. But as you guys can see, we did have another bearish week, here, but then price ended up pushing up and then up. Now I'm out of my position. So now what does that mean? Well, if I take everything off now, I'm going to delete my whole chart on what I have on here, but I do need to delete some things, right? I need to delete my prior analysis, not everything, just my zones. That's all. Now when I look at it, I have a clean chart. Now I can adjust. Now I can see we have a new high. So when the weekly candle closes in 3 days, I'm going to see how this weekly candle closes. Then I'm going to start to reanalyze this one specific area and maybe have to play it to the upside now. It's not going to be immediate. It's not going to be immediate. But what it's going to make me do is go back and look at my monthly, because there's something going on that monthly from one candle. Go back and look at my weekly when it closes this week, and then adjust the trader on the daily. Okay, so when you recap your losers, figure out why you lost. I followed all of my rules. This is now the market giving me a signal. Shaquan, do the opposite, because I'm trying to tell you where to go. So you gotta follow when price tells you to do the opposite. Sometimes when price stops you out, that's not a bad thing. It's the price telling you, stop looking for sales. I need you to start doing opposite. So I'm going to listen. So, but as you guys can see, the Aussies are bearish, right? AUD CAD, AUD Swiss, AUD USD has an exception right now. We'll talk about that next week. But there is an exception to AUD USD right now. And right now, because the Aussies are seeing some very, very bearish movement, that's why pound AUD is seeing some bullish movement, okay? The pounds are really weird too. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. They're very weird. They're moving choppy. They're all moving differently. So I'm not even going to get into the pound pairs. Now, another pair that I want to get into that's going good right now, it's going my way, is Swiss yen. I actually am in this trade to the upside. I got in after this candle. I'm going to hopefully be holding this for a while. This one is based on the weekly time frame. Here we had a higher, well, this is the higher high. This was the higher low here, or the last low that price came and it tested here. And then here, well, this actually is a higher low. And then over here, you know, I'm saying, okay, well, price can stay above this higher low, then we're going to go back to the upside. And now I'm back in the trade to the upside. So that's Swiss yen. But since Swiss yen is pushing up, guess what's pushing down? USD Swiss. And as you guys know, if you follow me, I was in a buy on this pair. The price is finally coming to me out the trade. I was in a buy back here. is taking me out now, which is why I say as a swing trader, it can take you time to get stopped out, which is kind of what I like. I don't like being stopped out quickly and then trying to get back in the trade because I haven't fully thought my next move through yet. And by doing this, I get to breathe and think my next move through, while another trade could be running in profit for me to make up for those losses. This is one of the biggest reasons why I personally love swing trading, okay? So now that I'm out of this position, I now will recalibrate, I will readjust. I'm not looking for a buy just, a sell or anything just yet. I do have my analysis on here, and I even told my students what I was going to do. If price fell below a certain number here, I'm going to look for a sell, right? So I was holding to my buy because it's still relevant right now, but I was telling them, hey, but you know what, guys, because of the weekly, if price falls below 0.89975, your girl is going to look for a sell, which will make my buy on Swiss yen more valid, right? And so this is once again how we're readjusting. And this is the stuff I had to go to my husband with and say, look, this is what's going on right now on my price charts. Like, I'm following my rules with what I know to do, but I also know why I'm getting taken out of my positions. Because if you go to those higher time frames, USD Swiss is actually bearish. So for me buying, I'm buying a counter trend based on the higher time frame, which I do counter trend based on higher time frames. The weekly has to put me into the trade, and I was following that. But what I also know, no matter what time frame you trade on, counter trend trades are always the riskiest. So I'm not upset because I'm like, okay, I get it, right? If we take a look at pound AUD, let's go back to pound AUD really quick. If I go to this highest time frame here, I got a lot on this chart, you guys, which I noticed that price has been pushing up for quite some time now, right? And this could just be a mere retest of the last higher lows in these areas, and now it's just going to start pushing back up. So I'm always understanding that there can always be a pullback, and I have to adjust, right? So that's what I'm ending up doing. I'm just adjusting accordingly, and I'm just going from there. So what am I looking at right now then? AUD JPY, I was looking for a buy if it stays within this zone here. I don't know if this is going to be the new low here to push back up, but because we have so much bearish momentum, I can actually take this field buffer right now, kind of where I'm going. But because we have so much bearish momentum, the Aussie dollars could just keep falling. We don't know. I was looking at AUD New Zealand dollar because it is in a buy zone for me as well. And keep in mind, you guys, not every currency pair is going to correlate and go the same way. Just because these are Aussie dollar pairs does not mean they're all going to fall. They're not. Because think about it like this. AUD CAD is not AUD New Zealand dollar. AUD Swiss is not AUD JPY, right? The base pair is the same. They're Aussies, but they're still paired with another currency. So you have to adjust accordingly, right? So I'm just going to hold tight, and I'm just going to see what happens. Euro AUD, let's talk about it. Remember how I was just telling you guys that pound AUD was going back up because AUD USD was pushing down? Euro AUD just took me out of my position for profit. I shared this analysis, right, on YouTube last week, or yeah, it was last week on my 15-minute trading day. And I just now got out of this trade for 331 pips. Money in my pocket once again, right? So it makes up for my losers because my winners are always bigger than my losers, right? You manage those risks. You manage those positions. Euros are pushing up right now. Aussies are dropping right now. CADs are always CADs. Pounds are over the place right now. I don't even know what the New Zealand dollars are doing. The US dollars, CAD is dropping at the moment. It's probably still tanking because, well, I know it's starting to push back up. We just went over USD Swiss, and I'm also in a sell here on USD JPY. I'm holding that sell for quite some time. I actually got in on the weekly time frame, so I'm patient. Some of y'all gonna say you entered in on the weekly. Your girl entered in on a weekly time frame, yes. Swing trader and a positioning to a position trader. So, or transitioning to a position trader. But I'm always taking the same trade setups over and over and over and over again, because when we get into situations, or when I get into situations like this, it makes it easier for me to see my losers, to view my losers, and to write and think out, okay, when next year comes, or when the next month comes, or when the next week comes, will this be a pair you trade? Is this pair getting ready to trade? Is this pair telling you to enter? I'm always talking to myself, and I teach my clients to talk to themselves as well too. I'm teaching you guys to talk to yourselves, right? Y'all are getting this information for free. Why? Because it's value. Because I used to be there. When you're trying to figure out, man, I lost a trade. Why do I keep losing this trade? And you're trying to find on YouTube the next piece of analysis. But instead of trying to find the next piece of analysis, actually break down what the loser was. What did your winner look like, and play off of those things. The next thing you don't want to do after you're losing trades, or you're losing trades back to back and you're winning some, you don't want to start to look for more analysis. You don't want to think, well, let me find a trade group. Let me do this. Let me do that. No, because you've not assessed how you're feeling. You've not assessed you. You've not broken down how it really makes you feel. You're trying to find a fix. Trading is addicting. This is an addiction. If you don't get it under control, it's going to take you over, because you're going to keep looking for the next best high, the next best news, the next best fundamentals, the next best technicals, the next best indicator, the next best strategy. Nah, you need to hone in, take your time, find your patience, find your core, and get a game plan together and say, how do I get out of my drawdown? How do I minimize my losses? Yes, losers come with it, but how can we minimize that and maximize our profit potential, right? I'm going to advise you guys follow this one guy. His name is @Sanglucci. I probably link him down below. I love that guy. We've had conversations before. He probably don't remember me because my Instagram name changed. I got to hit him up. But he's an options trader in the stock market. And I love when he talks about trading psychology, because he's like, man, like, we go through in life, we beat ourselves up. And I know he specifically talks to guys. He's a guy, right? But I love when he talks about his psychology and what he was going through, and how he would treat trading like he was gambling, right? I mean, this guy wins big and he loses big. He's very high risk. He's high risk averse, and he knows that he is. The man just made $1 million, but he'll know next month he could probably lose 400, 500, 600. He could probably lose it all because of how risk averse that he is. But he'll always tell you, no matter how much money you have in your trading account, you still need to manage your portfolio profitably. And this is a guy who ended up broke at one point in time. Yeah, so this is a guy, he ended up broke trading at one point in time. And he shares his story all the time, and it resonates. That I've never went broke. I've only blown one account on accident, but it just resonates because it's the psychology piece. When you go through in real life, when you have real life issues, when you're sick, when you're down, when you're depressed, because a lot of traders are depressed, this can eat at you, and you think the only way to feel better is to keep trading, and it's not. I thank God that I have a support system. I thank God that I have family around who know what I do, and they push me forward. But if you guys don't have that, comment below. I will support you. I will talk to you. I will be your sounding board. Now, I ain't going to just sit here and give you trade ideas and stuff like that, because that takes time. You have to be groomed. Analysis is not teaching. And I really need to let y'all know that. I take pride in what I do in my craft. This is the front view. Trading and I won't say trading, but teaching is the behind the scenes. Analysis is the movie, okay? You need production crew. Because think about what goes into a movie. A production crew, food people, water people, lights, cameras, the knowledge of how to put scenes together, the editing, all of this is the behind the scenes, right? But that analysis is that movie, right? This is the preview. When that trade is playing out, that's the movie playing out. And you don't know how that movie's going to end until you take profit or until you get stopped out. All right? So that's the hard work. Like, the hard work is always done behind the scenes. The easy work is once you push that button and you say go. So I just wanted to come and tell you guys that because I care about y'all. And I want to be transparent with y'all when I'm in good mood, hot girl summertime, or when I'm in my autumn falls. right? When it's not going so well. I was doing so good. Last 4 weeks, I'm teetering between drawdown and break even. But it's life. It happens. I'm going to get out of it. If you're going through it, you're going to get out of it. We will be okay. We will get out of it. All right. So here's some tips for you guys. I think I'm going to save it for tomorrow's video because tomorrow is Tip Wednesday. So I'm going to save it for tomorrow's video. But hit me up. Comment down below how you feeling. What's going on in your trading. And let's have a conversation. I'll talk to you guys later. You guys be blessed.